Hey guys, I'm Justin and welcome to my shop. I'm going to build one of these StewMac ukulele kits and I thought it would be fun to film it and show you my experience. I've never built one before, done some woodworking, but nothing quite like this. I've already opened it, so I was excited. Not really doing like an unboxing, but just getting everything ready. For the first step, I'm hoping to glue the back braces on today. But it's got manual, instruction manual, full-size plans. This is the concert size ukulele. Top and back. So I'm going to be using the back today. And truthfully, it's got everything else in there, all the sides, braces, the strips that's not kerfing, but the gluing strips, all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to look through the instructions and figure out the first part here to get everything laid out to do braces on the back. Alright, so I have the template cut out around the dotted line. And actually the first thing I'm noticing is on the back's bowed a little bit. It's curved, it's not flat. And maybe it came that way, but it also very well could have been my fault. I bought this kit a little while ago, and it's been sitting here in the garage getting hot and humid. So it definitely could have been my error. And trying to think which side do I want to be the outside and the inside, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it curve towards the outside. Right, guitars, have a slight radius on the tops and backs, and that would bow towards the outside. It may get completely taken out once I glue it to the sides. It may fully straighten it, which would be great. But I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put that to the outside. So I'm going to mark everything out here. Other thing I'm noticing, the template does not perfectly match up with, the pre-cut back. That's fine. It's not a real big deal as long as the back and the top and the sides all work. I'm just going to make sure that it's centered left to right, which is pretty easy to do with the centering line. And then I'll probably want to make sure that my waist is where it needs to be, and then let the top and bottom lie where they are. So I'll go ahead and get it, punched. I'll probably tape it down, punch where the back braces need to be, trace them out. Okay, so I got my braces and discovered something, that my braces are also warped quite a bit. That rocks a lot. And if I just force that down on there. Now what I don't know is this done was this an intentional radius to then radius the back? Sorry, that's my air conditioner. It's hot in here, so I got the AC running. Let me think on it. Okay, so I looked it up, and yes, they are intentionally curved so that the back is radiused. I'm glad I looked it up. The other thing that I like knowing about that is because I had a little bit of a hard time figuring out which braces went to the back and which braces belong to the top. Obviously, this big one here is a back one, but some of these other ones I couldn't quite tell. Easy way to tell. The ones in the back are curved, the ones on the top are flat. That makes so much sense. Curved, flat, curved, curved, right? So I'm going to use the curved ones on the back. They're going to be going in that direction. I think that'll work good. So we know where these guys approximately go. And I'll get my clamps and we will do a dry run for the glue up. Okay, so I got my mock-up here, my dry run of how I'm going to glue in this first brace. I'm just going to do one. Like I said, this is my first kit I've ever built. I've never done this before, and I know that you could, for time saving, do all three, have multiple clamps, run a caul across the top. But just starting out, I'm just learning. I think I'm just going to do one at a time here. Have one of these StewMat cam clamps, 2 clothespin clamps on either side. I'm going to put in my masking tape on here. I think everything's in here good. This is definitely bending the back to match up with the radius on that brace. And we'll give it a go. All right, getting ready to do first glue up. I don't have a brush, anything like that, so I'm just gonna use my finger, using Titebond 2. Try to make sure I have full coverage, but also not too much. And there's a fly on my hand. It's like Norman Bates over here. And potentially, in the future, I may want, do I have something I could use as a caul? Not quickly. I probably should grab something. I mean, these are cork lined, so hopefully it's not hurt my brace, but I probably should have something as a caul in the future. This is the one I'll wipe my hands on. Just a hair of squeeze out, which is what I want, because then I know I have enough on there, but not too much where it's squeezing out all over the place. Okay, well, nothing to do but let it dry now for 30, 45 minutes. We'll come back and see how it is. And as long as that one went well and it's in place good, I have, a good joint, good connection, we'll do the other two the same way. All right, so the glue's dried, got everything taken off. Looks like it went pretty good. Have a gap on this side. I could certainly add a little bit more glue. Maybe that would help, but I feel like it was pretty adequate. This side looks great. And my assumption is, since it's a kit, it was not, and the back's not radiused to match, the braces. But as I think about it, from what I've seen, yeah, all you would do is you would have a radius dish to then, for the gluing process. So maybe that would help in the future. But, for the first time, it's on there, it's not going anywhere. So I'm confident in doing the other two. So we'll do the mock-up and then get ready to glue it. so got them all glued on, went well. Had just a little bit of, squeeze out to clean up. Top two, no, not as big a gaps as the bottom one. So I'm happy with that. It might have a little bit more cleanup to do, but I think it went well. And next we'll start figuring out how to glue braces to the top. All right, new day. So far I've only gotten the back braces glued on, but that went real well. And now I'm going to work on doing the front braces. So solid mahogany top, have the same cork with the top that I do the back, that it is bowed. And I think that this probably is due to it sitting in the humidity and the heat of the garage, because typically the top could have a little tiny bit of radius to it, but would be for the most part flat, and this is not. So definitely probably an error on my end, and it's very flexible. So it should go into place fine. I'm going to start with the same process, figuring out where my braces need to go, marking them out with the awl, tracing them in. Also have a little piece of plywood I put up over here instead of using that big old 2x6. I have it clamped down way more than I need to, but again, it had bow. Everything's bowed in my garage. I don't know why. But that's what I'll be working on that. So I'll come around and we'll start marking this out. All right, so I have the top braces on, these two, and then the ones by the sound hole. I got all four of them there, the top brace and these ones here. And I'm moving on to the X brace. I'm kind of mocking it up. This definitely is going to have to go a little bit different. I only have these two long cam clamps, And I definitely see where, without a plexiglass template or something, the advantage of gluing both X braces in at the same time as opposed to one then the other to make sure they're aligned correctly. I also have the bridge plate in here to make sure that that'll seat. But I'm just kind of going through it because there's a lot going on here. I don't love that I can't reach the ends with my clothespin clamps. I definitely now see some of the advantage in using a go-bar deck instead of just, obviously the radius dish portion of that is very important. But even from a flat perspective, the ability to get everything placed and clamp everything in one go, or even if you didn't do everything, much more than one at a time in something like this, if you had a go-bar deck and a bunch of go-bars that go in real easy. And here I don't like that I don't have pressure further in on these braces. I don't like that I don't have pressure on the very ends. And well, maybe what I'll do, if I slide these, can I get them any closer in? And this is why you do a mock-up. Okay, if I slide these in a skosh is a technical term. And I probably have some other clamps I can get here on the ends. Let me go get those. Okay, and I'm not doing this because I need a lot of pressure. I just want it more evenly spaced. So I think that's how I'm going to need to glue up the X braces. The bridge plate seems to fit well there. They're pretty close to where I had them marked. There's a little bit of play in how they were pre-cut in the X, but they're pretty close. And judging from the plans, they are not. There's no way they're engineered to intersect or interlock with this upper horizontal brace, so that's not an issue. So, and I realize it's just a little ukulele kit. It's not supposed to be a guitar, but certainly want to do as good a job as I can first time out. And I think that's going to be it. So, got my mock-up, and we'll get ready to glue. So it's been a few days since I got this all glued on. And some of it I did off camera, just as time permitted. But I did get all the bracing on the top, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I think what I'm learning is I use too much glue. So I think squeeze out has been more than it should be. So I think moving forward, I need to just use a little bit less. I still have some cleanup to do on this. I'd like to get a little bit more of that squeeze out off if I can, but I'm not overly worried about it. It's all going to be on the inside, and this is my first one. But real happy with how these the bracing turned out top and bottom. And the next step is going to be building the jig to put the sides together. So I think this is where I'm going to cut it off for this one. Thank you to anybody who decided to tune in for this. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I sure have. And we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.